Okay, this is what I think about the future of money. I think the future of money. Well, I came up with the idea to do this because I heard Bashar say that his civilization, they don't have money because they just, I guess, they don't need it. And I can imagine that in the future we won't need money because if we have free energy, and he says we will have free energy pretty soon once we figure out how to unlock energy from water. Um, and I think we'll get free energy just as soon as. But I think the person who figures that out, and supposedly lots of people have figured that out, and then they've been murdered. But I think the person who figures out how to do that will be ready for that. When the person who figures out how to do that will not try to do it to make money for themselves, and they'll do it because the people who figure out how to do that, they like when they die, their knowledge dies with them. So like they kept it secret to themselves in their vault, and maybe they did that because they were afraid that they wanted to keep their energy secret so that they would not die and not be killed, but then they die anyway. So anyways, I think the person who figures that out will just spread the knowledge to the whole world, so that if they did die, it doesn't matter anyway because their knowledge is spread. So anyways, but I think once we get free energy, money will become obsolete because it'll make everything so cheap. But I think money, for a long time will still exist. It'll just be like we'll all have dole money, like basically money will be free. Money will grow on trees. Um, and we also already kind of see that right now, like Native Americans get dole money, or Aborigines all over the world or in good countries get dole money. You have disability money, unemployment money, this kind of thing. So I think once our GDP gets strong enough, because of efficiency and everything and free energy, you know, everybody will be able to get money in the mail, enough money so that they'll be able to live a comfortable life, pay rent, have a computer, all this kind of thing. And what will motivate people to do the basic jobs to keep the world going will be extra money. Um, and everybody loves money. Everybody loves having extra money because if you have extra money, then you'll get to travel more. You'll get to buy more. You'll get to travel better. All that kind of stuff. So that'll motivate people, like, ooh, I want to make an extra $500 this month, so I'll get a job over at the factory building machines that build this other thing, and then you'll do that. And so basically that'll mean that jobs will be more temporary. Right now, jobs, you have to, if you get a job, you have to promise you're going to have that job for a couple of years, because they don't want to invest in training you for a couple of days or a couple of weeks if you're just going to be there 1 year, But in the future, I think people will definitely start to realize. I think the reason that is people just don't appreciate having time off. And once people, start to value that more, then we'll allow each other uh, to sign up for jobs just temporarily. Um, and even if it takes, a couple of weeks to train you. So people have a job for a little bit, they'll go travel, and then they'll get another job. And we're also already starting to see the trend in that right now with people changing careers. The average person, don't they say, changes career like 3 or 4 times in their life, and before they would just have one job, and it wouldn't even be one person having a career in one lifetime. It would be like a whole family having one career over the course of many people's generations, So, yeah, in the future, I think people will basically get jobs to make extra money. And of course, like skilled jobs where you need like 5 years of education to do, like, doctors and scientists and stuff like this. Well, those kinds of jobs are fun to do. Being a discoverer of new things is fun, so people will do that anyways. There'll always be scientists and inventors and doctors, and those people will get extra money for doing those jobs anyway. But if you're the kind of person who just doesn't want to work because you're lazy or because you want to just teach yourself, then I think pretty soon it'll be totally possible to do that. Like me, you know, I would love to just, live in my van up in the mountains, or, live in my mom's extra room or something, and just hang out in my room all day lifting weights and go on a run, and then come home and surf the web, and like study, because that's what I do on my spare time anyway. When I surf the web, it's not just like mental masturbation or anything. Or maybe that's not a good example, but it's useful. You're studying and you're learning and you're teaching yourself. So basically, the future of money will also go into education. People will start, I think, educating themselves. But that's another video, future of education. So future of money, I think pretty soon, as soon as we get free energy, everybody will have dull money. And I think we'll get even enough dull money to travel too, to be able to hang out and do whatever, and then spend your extra dull money, travel, and maybe you won't be able to stay at nice hotels and stuff, but you'll be able to travel and camp out on the side of the road, and have enough money to eat, So basically that whole fear of like, oh, I have enough money to survive and to lead a good life and to travel and all this will definitely be useful, Utopia. I saw some dude do a video a few weeks ago where he's like, we should live in a paradise now. What the hell's going on? And I agree, But as soon as we anyways, yeah, I have a positive idea about that. But in the future, like, there will be no money whatsoever. I agree with that too. In the future, maybe a couple hundred years in the future or something, or a couple or 1,000 years in the future, I don't know. We won't have any money at all. It'll all be people will just do their job and what they love to do, and they will just like, somebody might imagine, oh, but if there's no extra monetary recompensation for, say, jobs that people don't want to do, like being a lawyer. Well, lawyers, I don't think we'll even need lawyers in the future anyway. Lawyers are kind of like, cops are kind of like people who enforce laws, and we need them in this world now, but maybe in the future, we won't have to have people interpreting what's right and wrong for everybody else, because everybody already know. So like, let's see, like we doctor, maybe doctors have to study a lot, but I think magically, just the way that it all works together, it all magically just come together, and people will fill in jobs. Like if there's an industry that starts to be empty of people because of their own benevolence will just fill in that job, and people will be well-rounded enough that there'll always be people to do something, and so then there won't be any need for money in the future. So I think we should think about how we're going to try to get to that point where we don't need money right now. And I think one way is we should try to practice bartering a lot more now, like if you're a masseur, like me, I'm a Thai masseur. Call people up, call somebody who does Swedish massage and be like, hey, let's trade, because I know people who give massages also like to receive them. And then traveling, they have the website couchsurfing.com or something like that, couchsurfers.com. And my friends told me about that, and he's put people up traveling, and then he's traveled and they've put him up, and it's always fun. And then you review each other so that you can get, somebody's cool because they have good reviews, so to let them come, or or they know to let you stay at their place and stuff like this, and that'll make traveling like free. And they even do the same thing, like trading cars in various countries. And so once the trust comes up, then we won't need money really to do stuff like that. It'll just all magically just fall together. And so basically, to not have to have money, we basically need to start trusting each other, which is starting to grow up, in like in America and first world countries and stuff like that. So there you go.